Head coaches make hundreds of decisions every day, often wishing they had a trusted circle to lean on. That's why this podcast exists. Welcome to Fourth and Three, real conversations coaches have when the office door is closed. I'm Randy Jackson. I spent 33 years in a coach's office, including 22 as a head coach. I know this job is far more than plays and practice plans. It's about handling issues the general public never sees. This podcast is everything a head coach deals with: leadership, culture, staff, decision making, and yes, some X's and O's along the way. So pull up a seat and let's get started. I don't know of many podcasts where you're interviewing someone who's been a head coach for 5 days. And that's what we're going to do today. Justin is very special to me. In 2017, Justin, you correct me if I'm wrong here, but you were a special ed teacher in an elementary school, right?
Yeah, first and second grade.
I needed a freshman coach, and I just thought, well, I'm gonna text Justin, and then the rest is history. He came, and he was the head freshman coach, and he moved up every step of the way. Here's what I love about Justin: he didn't tell us what he thought a whole like he just kept his mouth shut and learned and is ready for this job. Justin, thanks for being on here, buddy.
Absolutely.
So tell us, Justin, about 30-second, give us the Justin Velasquez history.
Yeah, I played after I got done playing college ball, I was hired. You didn't send that text directly to me. It was a group text.
Oh.
So there was a bunch of people on there, and you're like, hey, I just need one. So I jumped on that opportunity, and I never looked back. Looking back at it, that first year I wasn't even getting paid. I was a volunteer coach. That was the most impactful year in my coaching history because of who we hired and who I was the assistant wide receivers coach to the guy that we gave the keys to the offense to. I was his shadow had I not taken that job.
It was a blessing.
Yeah, I was just able to learn his language. And when I'm coaching today, I still use things like that. After that, I was able to stay on. Be where your feet are and trust in yourself and the work that you put in. My faith was tested when Luster left. I go to Mesquite Poteet. Then I go to Mesquite to work for Raphael Thomas, my former college teammate. He already had his OC. So I don't have a title anymore. And we go 1-9 playing in the best district in the state of Texas. So I get fired twice in a year and I lose my title. I go 1-9, and then I land a head job. It's because of my demeanor through all of that. I always knew that if I ended up a janitor, I was going to be the best janitor in the state. That was always my mindset. This opportunity came open, and I can't help but thank God every morning. When I look at my journey, it felt for a minute like everything was spiraling down, but I kept the faith and kept working. The work is the work, no matter what the position is. I ended up where I'm in now.
So for everyone listening, this is a great podcast if you want to be a head coach. It's a great podcast if you are a head coach, because we're going to get into some things Justin's already done. If you are an assistant, and I know it's hard to break through and get that first head coaching job, don't get discouraged. You don't have to be on a state championship team. You have to just have your systems in place. I do believe connections are a big deal. And you have to be willing to move. Justin, you're making a big move here and your wife's good with it. There's a lot going on. Let's dive in. Let's talk about the interview. What are the three best things? I don't want to spend too much time on this because I think week one is fascinating, but let's talk about your interview. What were three things you did to help land the job?
One, the first is I've already interviewed here 3 years ago. So I knew exactly how the interview was going to go. I knew that I was going to start with my presentation and that the presentation was on me. And that was my chance to give my first impression. And it really happened that first time. I'll say this. I contacted Zeller after, the dust settled and they went with the internal hire. And I called him, or he called me, and we went over what went good and what went bad in that interview. So I think that's so important because if you're going to become a head coach, very rarely are you going to land the first one you go to, right? You're going to get 3, 4 no's before you get your yes. But those no's are preparing you for the yes if you're doing it correctly. It's very important that I got that feedback. As we're having that conversation, I'm writing everything down. There's things that you don't know what you don't know. I had never been to a head coach interview. The first time I gave my presentation, I did it sitting down, like, and just clicking through it, and didn't even think that was a bad thing. But that's the first thing that Jay told me, and I'll never do it again. All right, and I got some other feedback from another person on the panel that they felt like they had to look around to make eye contact with me. Okay, I need to position myself where everybody can see me, and I be intentional on making eye contact with everybody. So that was one. I already knew what the process was going to be. The presentation that I did, I was very intentional on, because the first time around I just did it on PowerPoint or whatever. Well, the second time I did it on Canva, and I spent a lot of time making it look good. It communicates to everybody in that committee that that's how I'm going to communicate when I have a meeting. So that's what my player meetings are going to look like. So my coaches meetings are going to look like. And having solid visuals is captivating and it keeps their attention. I feel like the best part of my interview was my presentation.
I love what you said about being professional, standing up and having eye contact. I think that's such a big deal. If someone sent me a resume about a month ago and said, "Hey, would you look at this?" and there wasn't a picture or anything on it, I said, "Hey, coach, no offense, but this looks like the same type of resume I sent in 1999." Tell us a little bit about how you dress your resume up.
Yeah, I had my photo on there. I did it on Canva as well. They have templates already there. It's plug and play. If you're not using Canva, you should. It's very user friendly. So yeah, I had my photo on there. Everything was school colors, right? And then in the background, you can put an image in there and then take the transparency away. So the logo's there, but it's in the background. So it's like, I think it's important that you could tell that this isn't a resume that I could send to everybody. It was specifically
Yeah.
made for Bport. And I think that's important.
Yeah. And the old coach that says, "I'm just not good with technology and all that," that's no good, y'all. That's not,
Right.
you don't get a pass on that anymore. It's 2026. Be good with it. Get on Canva if you don't know what Canva is and figure it out. It's real simple, but
Yep.
you're in competition when those resumes hit. The ones with just typing and no graphics or pictures, you're at a disadvantage. All right. So you get the job and you showed up. Let's talk about this week. What did you do? Like Monday was onboarding and y'all didn't have school Monday, right?
No.
Okay.
So my first day was Tuesday.
Okay. So just to take someone like Shep, what happens when you get a head coaching job? The boring stuff happens day one, where you get your badge like anybody. Was there anything different? Did Zeller go over procedures or expectations, anything like that?
Yeah, so pretty much the first thing I did when I got down there, I went to the welcome back meeting. I was at home and I was under the impression that I had to be at a meeting with Luster and Zeller at about 10, anywhere from 9:30 to 10.
Time out just for a sec. For people who don't know, Coach
Yes.
Luster is the head coach at Brazos Wood. So there's two high schools in this district. Brazos Wood is 6A and Brazos Port that's 4A. And Coach Luster is the head coach, and both of these guys, we all used to work together. Just to give everybody where we are here.
Yep. So I'm still in Dallas, and I'm like, okay, I got plenty of time to get there by 10. I can get up in the morning. Well, then about 7 p.m., my principal texts me and says, our welcome back meeting is at 8 o'clock. Looking forward to introducing you to the staff, which not his fault. He was under the impression I was already down there. And I know he would have been fine with it because he's a great guy. He would have been fine if I would have told, hey, man, I'm still in Dallas. That puts me leaving really early, but I didn't do any of that because I thought it was very important for me to be at that meeting and get introduced. You can't redo your first day back. So I didn't bother. I said, I'll see you there. I changed my alarm to 3 o'clock in the morning. I got up, hit the road, and I was there for the meeting.
Yeah. That's
so the work is the work.
That's outstanding. You have to be there.
Yes. And really shame on me for not thinking it was okay to be at the meeting with my AD before that. But there was just so much going on, I wasn't even thinking about that meeting.
Yeah.
So when I was aware of it, I have to be there, and I made it happen.
Yeah. So, okay, let's get into the first coaches meeting. So we got the welcome back. You get introduced. Let's get into your first player meeting. Tell us about your first player meeting. Take us through what you did. Give someone a paint by numbers how they could do their first player meeting.
Okay, I made a presentation for it, the first part of it. And honestly, the first couple of slides of the presentation were my first couple of slides that I had already made for my interview. It's always a little bit of get to know me. So want to be transparent with the kids, make sure they can get to know me on a personal level. But then, at some point it shifts to you have to find something to fascinate them and get them excited, right? So I had 2 little character lessons that I had gotten from you, Randy. One of them being, and it's funny that we went with the wheelbarrow because that's what we did my senior year in high school. I'll never forget us talking about the wheelbarrow. All right. And story is, this guy is tight roping across the canyon and he makes it across. He's got his little balance steel in his hands and he makes it across and the crowd goes crazy. They're all excited. And now he's going to make his return trip. On the return trip, he drops his little balance steel and he gets out a wheelbarrow. And he asks the crowd, hey, you guys think I can make it back with this? And everybody, yeah. So he says, all right, who's going to get in it? Nobody raises their hand. And it's just a great visual of saying, like, and my point was, and it was ironic that we're talking about all in because in the locker room already there's a sign in there that's big letters, all in. So it's something they have already talked about. It was a good opportunity for me to ask them, what does all in mean to you guys? I think that's important. Don't make your presentation just you talking. Try to find places where you can get some feedback and just something as simple as asking them questions. What does all in mean to you? And make it things that don't have wrong answers. That way you're not telling them, no, that's not it. There's no wrong answer. What does all in mean to you? So we get that. Then I explain the story and drive home the point of everybody that was cheering before he asked that question. All in was just a sign on the wall to them. It was just words, right? Hopping in the wheelbarrow is being committed, really putting action behind those words. And that's what I need from you guys. I need y'all to hop in the wheelbarrow. And it's funny, Coach, as they're transitioning to and from, they're running down and they're coming in. I hear kids saying, let's get in the wheelbarrow. They're receptive to it. And there's times when you think something might be a little corny, like the kids love it. Like they really enjoyed that. So that was the first part. Then I asked the seniors to come up to the front. As they came up, I had a graphic that had the caveman evolution. The other one was a picture of the American Revolution. I asked the kids, and they don't know where I'm going with it, but I'm asking the seniors, what would you guys rather have? An evolution or a revolution? Most of them said they wanted an evolution, and it was a good answer because I want to grow. I want to get bigger, faster, stronger, and that's what I see here. I see this guy growing and becoming something else, and I want to be a better person. That's a great answer. And I turn around to everybody else. But that's a great answer for you guys because you don't have a choice. You guys are going to evolve into a great team. And there's no doubt in my mind, you guys are going to win a lot of ball games. You're going to evolve into a great team. And I turn back to those seniors. You guys only have one choice. Like, you guys don't have the time to evolve. And a revolution happens because guys are sick and tired of the way things are, and they pick up arms and they fight against what the current standard is, right? And that's the thing. So that's what I need out of this group right here. Like, if we're going to be good this year, it's going to be because of you guys, because you guys pick up your weapons and you follow me into battle. So that's what I need. And then from there, we got to teaching them how we're going to break it out. How do we stand when I say get at attention and things like that. That's what pretty much how the first player means.
Coach, that's incredible. So I just need everybody to understand that I told the same wheelbarrow story to Justin, and he was sitting there as a kid listening to it, and he told it. I'm about to cry. If your dad was a good dude, he would give you a wheelbarrow when you come down. He ought to give you a wheelbarrow to take back with you. And then the evolution revolution, you've improved it. Like what you talked about, taking up arms, amazing. Take up some arms and let's go. Did you bring the seniors up to the front or anything like that?
Yes, I did. When I was doing yeah.
So tell us about that.
If you were paying attention, I did already hit it.
You did?
They were.
I was thinking about Jesse and not giving you a wheelbarrow. I apologize.
Yeah, the seniors were up, and when I was talking about evolution, I'm facing the underclassmen. And when we went into the revolution, I turned around.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I think that is huge to get them to stand up and all. I love that. Kids will point at true north if you give them a true north. Like you right now, their true north is a wheelbarrow, isn't it? Like you've given them something.
Yes.
And
to the point of them saying, hop in a wheelbarrow, they're also saying, as they're running down, it's a revolution. It's a revolution. So, like, they get it. Like, if they're trying to poke fun at it or whatever, like, they're saying it. And it's being echoed.
Is your AD a good enough guy to get you some T-shirts that say all in and revolution and stuff?
We're already rolling on.
Okay. It looks like he's actually working. I need to leave him alone. All right. Anybody have a question about the player meeting? You can ask it because we're a family here, or you can put it in the chat. This will be better the more people participate. That's why this isn't just a recording. I want this to be a live session. Let's get into your first day with your team. What did you do? Just so we can keep this chronologically, what day was your first player meeting?
My first player meeting was on Wednesday.
Okay. And did you have athletic period that day as well, or was that taken up by the meeting?
The meeting.
Okay.
So we did go into the weight room.
Okay. But for the most part, let's go Thursday. And your athletic period is what time of the day?
We are going at 11 o'clock.
Okay.
We're right. That lunch period, that's my athletic period.
Do you let them walk down there casually, or do we expect something else? How does this work?
It's actually, so yes, the coaches have whistles. We're outside blowing whistles and just creating energy as they, so you can see them. Those doors pop open and they're running out. Coach Davis, who was already at Bport, he's actually kind of improved this system, and I like it. He was doing this system as he was going for the job as the internal hire, and he's a great guy. He's been nothing but supportive, and I love the guy. He's working hard for me, and I appreciate him. Well, he had them, and mind you, they've got 6 minutes from the bell to be in that team meeting room, sitting down. He has them running down there, getting dressed. When they get dressed, they go back outside and do a lap around the field. Then they go into that meeting room. It's one more thing that they have to do, which means they have to be faster.
Yeah.
Right?
Love it.
So they go down there, they're getting dressed. It looks like how we did it during boot camp, and we're not even in boot camp yet.
Wow.
Like, they're hurrying up, and then they go out there to get that lap in, and then they come into their rooms. That's how we get into the period.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I get so excited about this. The coaches are all blowing the whistle and high-fiving kids and making those kids feel like this is going to be the best time of your day. This is the best time of my day as a coach because I get to be with you. There's high energy, there's juice, right? It's awesome.
Right now, we're working out things to get more guys in the period. There's not too many of us in there right now, but I can speak from my time at Poteet as the interim. You talk about guys being outside blowing whistles. In my opinion, that's not even enough to say, hey, be outside blowing a whistle. I'm very intentional. This coach is standing by the portables. This coach is standing by the tennis court. So from the time they leave that door, there's never a space where they're not being seen by a coach. So they can't turn this one corner and then start walking, then pick up running after this corner.
How do you, man?
It's on the daily schedule of where you're supposed to be during that time.
So it's, guys, if you're going to be a head coach, you got to be comfortable telling your assistants, I need you to be right here. You can't have a phone in the coaches' meetings. You have to coach the coaches. I got Ben Startzer here from Colorado. He wants to know, give us a little context. What's been the record the last 3 years? What kind of program is it? What are the big things right now you feel like, hey, we're going to improve on?
They've struggled. Last year, they won 2. And the 2 prior years, I think they were both over. So you're talking 2 wins in the last 3. Honestly, from what I'm seeing on film, what I'm hearing from coaches, what I'm hearing from my AD, that 2-win season could have easily been a 4 or 5-win season. They were in some games. When I hear of a team that's constantly in games and can't finish it, it means that these guys were good while the morale was good. So while the score is close, we're playing hard. But then when we started going through that fire, things hit the fan.
Yeah.
That's how I saw
it.
And I know from my research that the discipline is the biggest issue here.
Well, that's why these jobs come open. I mean, I've never got a job that was really good because I couldn't have gotten it. These are the jobs I think you want, where the kids are excited. We haven't done real well, but we can get there. And Poteet was that way. So after they run their lap and you talk to them, tell us about, again, to me, fascinating. It's your first day after you had the meeting, and now they're dressed out and they're sitting down, I assume, and they're looking at you. What are y'all doing?
Okay, I had a workout plan, and I still have one planned. What I'm about to get into is what I got from Raphael Thomas, the head coach at Mesquite. He was at Houston Yates. He turned that program around, so he knows what he's doing. He has a 4-minute warm-up. We did a 4-minute warm-up at North Forney with Luster when Coach Booker was running that, but it wasn't like this. That 4-minute warm-up was, hey, we're going to warm up for 4 minutes. We're going to get through these drills. This 4-minute warm-up is, you've got this set of drills that we go through, but each drill has something specific that you can mess up on. Like we do palms up, and on the whistle, your palm up, and then it goes back. But there's kids that shortcut it and go palm down, right? So we're going through that. Every time I see a palm that goes down and not back, I holler out 0, and we go back to the beginning. And then it's not my fault. If I see it, I say it. Long story short, the 4-minute warm-up took us 40 minutes.
We're talking about Wednesday, we had the player meeting. Thursday, we spent 40 minutes on a 4-minute warm-up.
Yes.
Which you knew was going to take 40 minutes.
I knew it was going to take 40 minutes. But they don't know it.
Why is this, just for people, I got to say this as the podcast host, why is this important, how their palms are?
Because it's a broken window. And that's something I talked about in my coaches meeting this morning. We talked about the broken windows and how what was the background on that? When was this?
That was New York City in the 90s.
So go ahead.
Mayor Giuliani decided we're going to take these bad neighborhoods and we're going to fix all the windows and see if crime will go down. And it did, because people just had more respect for it. If there were broken windows, then why not break some more? That's my theory too on cursing or whatever. If you let kids curse, they're probably going to jump off sides.
Right. So,
So
and I
anyway,
explained that to the kids, and I wasn't being too hard on them, honestly. I was trying to be uplifting. As I'm saying zero, I'm trying to tell, hey, it's okay. We're good. Shake it off. Keep going. Honestly, we ended up making it all the way through. I didn't think we'd make it through all the exercises, but we did. It took us 40 minutes. And there were times where I had to act like I didn't see something just so we could get to the next
yeah,
exercise, right?
smart.
But I think I used good discretion on when to do that. For these guys, what was important was, Coach, I kid you not, it took me 3 times of saying zero before I heard lip smacking, before I heard kids talking to other teammates. And it was an opportunity for me to address all that stuff. That's not helping us out. It was an opportunity for me to teach control the controllable, which is my second pillar of discipline. Controlling the controllable is so important because there was a couple of times where they heard zero and a kid would complain, come on, man, you just messed that up. And then the next time I said zero, I made sure it was because of that kid. So it was an opportunity for them to see, wow, I'm over here fussing at this kid and I just messed up. Control the control. To me, the 4-minute warm up is getting up in the morning and making your bed. It's a layup. It's an easy win. And if we can't win the 4-minute warm up, we'll never win a ball game.
No, Jay Zeller, your boss, just put this in the chat. Discipline in the small things equals discipline in the main things. And so on day one, the first time he's with his players, he could have ran 40s to see who was fast. They could have maxed out. They could have done all these physical things. But Justin, because he's a stud, chose we're going to focus on discipline and winning the small things. So can you give us a couple of examples of what the 4-minute warm-up is?
We start with palms up, palms back. So we get into some shoulder rolls. It's a full body. It goes from the top down.
So I'm just standing here, and if you can see me, you say
you got them out this way, left to right. Yep.
Okay.
And that's one of the things is if your wrist isn't at shoulder height, that's a zero, right? If I see you dropping your hands, that's a zero, right? So on the whistle, your palms are up, then they go back, and you're here, then you're back, and you're back here.
Okay, so they always end up.
Yes.
But
so whistle 1, whistle 2.
Okay.
If we're and the little things like if we're not loud enough, that's 0, things like that. The second one is a shoulder roll.
Do they have to count at every whistle?
Yes.
Everybody's got to be saying something. And they got to be paying attention.
Yes. So then we go into a shoulder roll. We do 10 of those, 5 of them forward, 5 of them backwards. Then we do, what's next after that? It's a clap jacks. Okay, and this is one that took us a while. The clap jacks. Your wrists have to be at nipple height or higher. So a lot of guys, as we get going, they drop. That's a 0. It's a misleading name because you don't actually clap. So if I hear a clap, that's a 0. Sometimes, and these are things that they're going to get down. But right now, they haven't done it for a long time. Some guys will count when they're out. They'll go 1, but it's not 1 until your hands are in. That's what I mean by I've done a 4-minute warm-up, but what I learned from Coach Thomas is you make specific things that you're looking for in each of these drills.
It's boot camp style that we would do 3 weeks. So every time we did in our boot camp, y'all was like this. Like we wanted to catch them making mistakes. But what I love about this is year-round 4-minute boot camp.
Yes. And we are going to do a boot camp. But even when we're not in boot camp, there's a lot of boot camp characteristics.
You're going to start every day with this 4-minute warm-up, right?
Every day. Every day.
Football season?
Yes.
And will y'all get to a time in Mesquite, was it 4 minutes after they got going?
Oh, yeah. It was 4 minutes. But what's cool about it is you go through, and I think the fastest we ever did it at Mesquite is right about 3 minutes. So if you're rolling and nobody's messing up, like they get in there and they focus. You have to be focused to get it through the first time.
Yeah.
And then there's times where we would get through it, but it would be 4 minutes and 3 seconds. And what do you think he did? Because he'd stop the stopwatch and show the player and let the player say it out loud. He was good at trying to take the feelings out of it. You're not mad at Coach Thomas. You're mad at the stopwatch.
Okay, so I don't know if I understood this. If we do it in 4:03, we're starting over.
We're starting over. It's a 4-minute warm-up, not a 4:03 warm-up.
That's so good. Okay.
And to that point, though, Coach, like that's a time to talk to them about what it takes to win. Winning is one of the most unique things on the planet. It requires everything out of you, but it doesn't owe you anything. So you can do everything right and still lose. And sometimes that's just the way the ball rolls. You guys did a great job. We got through the warm-up, but for whatever reason, we bogged down at some point and we were 3 seconds too slow.
There's a difference in winning and being a winner.
Yes.
This warm-up trains you to be a winner, and winners win more than non-winners. This warm-up allows you to learn how to win, and I think that's a PJ Fleck thing. It's like, all we're going to do is train you to be a winner, and because of that, we're going to win more.
Yes.
So if we need to go to the coaches meeting, is this 4-minute warm-up any good if your assistant coaches aren't bought in and really helping you look for things?
No, it makes it super hard because then it makes you the bad guy because you're the only one saying zero, right? And I remember feeling pressure with Coach Thomas and thinking to myself, man, I've got to find something to say zero at. I wasn't going to make anything. I was legit going to find it. But I remember that feeling of, I don't want to get through this and not say something. Like, I got to correct something.
So are your coaches assigned to a certain area to watch, or how do you do that?
Right now, there's not many of us in there. The day that I had the most, it was one on each side, and I was kind of in the middle.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, you could probably be yourself, but once they get good at this, you're going to need more help, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Right now, Coach, I could close my eyes and say zero, and I'm right.
Yeah.
But
so Wednesday, you met with them. You did a presentation, right? Showed them pictures of you and your family and things like that. So I think that's a big deal. So they know what Justin's family looks like. You talked about your playing career and then got into the wheelbarrow story and the evolution revolution. The next day, we did the 4-minute warm-up for 40 minutes. Today in off season, did it take the whole time again?
it did.
Okay. And are you seeing leaders emerge?
It's funny you say that. I specifically noticed one of the kids doing things right. And on top of that, there was one time I said zero, and you started hearing some moans and groans, and instead of me saying it, he said, quit complaining, let's go, lock in. I identified that quick. So however long it takes us, when they finish that warm-up, I don't ever go through it twice without giving them a break. If we get all the way through it twice, I'll tell them go get water. So during our first water break, I pulled him to the side, and I said, hey, man, you're doing a great job. I said, I want you to stand in the back in the middle so you can see everybody. I think it was a good moment for us. He thinks I've identified him as a leader, and I gave him a little bit of a role.
Oh, and right now, Coach, he's on cloud 9.
I know.
And, yeah, I love it. I used to always say this. The kids who don't want to be great at stuff like this are going to hide in the shadows. Like, they're going to get on the edges. And I never would have let my best receiver be on the edge where he was hard to see. So, coaches meeting. I think this is awesome. Friday morning before school, you had a coaches meeting, just football coaches, right? Or was it everybody? Just football coaches. What was your goal going into this coaches meeting? Like what is something, here's what I want to achieve with this meeting.
I've divided it into 3 sections. The about me, because the rest of those coaches didn't see my presentation to the kids that first time I talked to them. I had them, because we got a brand new, beautiful facility. Great weight room. I mean, it's nice, Coach.
All because of Jay Zeller.
It's better than what we had in North Florida. And I've shut it down. The lights are off in there. And we go to the old weight room. It's nasty and gritty and it's just blue collar, right? Rust. If you put the squat bar on your back, you're going to have rust on your shirt. It wasn't ready for us to do that 4-minute warm-up. So I told the rest of the coaches to go get that space ready while I gave that. So I just hate to say, I gave my about me because they hadn't heard it yet. The first part I did the about me. Second section was,
How long was your coaches meeting?
it was 30 minutes.
How long did you do it?
It was probably about 5 to 7. I tried to
Okay.
get through it as quick
All
as
right.
I could because what I really wanted to get to was the two sections of what's going to make me tick
Mm,
and how do I expect us to look as we're coaching.
I love it. So you got 24 minutes left to talk about the really big stuff.
Yes, because I knew I had to try to fly through that so that I could get to the good stuff.
All right. So tell us, what was the video?
The video was PJ Fleck, and it was, I think, 2-3 minutes. It's PJ Fleck at the beginning of his practice as his kids are stretching. There's music going and he's dancing around. What stuck out to me is every interaction he had with his player was personal. It wasn't a generic hello. It was like, hey, man, you still making music? You got any new songs out? And it was, what was another one? Hey, man, dude, I was thinking about your house the other day, and it fascinates me because it's in a neighborhood, but you got a farm in the backyard. Like that, like he remembered all these little things about these kids, and it was data that he understands and knows his players on a personal level. He could have easily sat back and watched his coaches, seeing who was doing what, but he took that opportunity to create dialogue.
Oh,
And I
and
tell my guys, dialogue cultivates relationships.
yeah, and I love what you said. He knew about them.
Yeah.
Hey, let's have a great day today. It was nothing football related. Some kid
Yep.
was in a band. I put the link to this video in here. I just want to give a shout out to Kirk Thor at Mansfield Lake Ridge. He's the one who gave me this video. There's no doubt after your coaches watch that video of what they want, of what you
Yes.
want.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so what else did you talk to him about makes Justin? Because everybody needs to know this. If you're going to be a head coach, you got to be willing to stand in front of your assistants and say, this is what makes me tick. These are my pet peeves. This is what keeps me up at night.
Yeah. So the first one on that list was finish, okay, which is another pillar of discipline. It's pillar number 5 of discipline. The finish is when we're talking like on the field drills and off season stuff, the finish is the most important part of the drill. And I'm not saying we don't have to coach everything else, but you better see the finish. So that comes from really 2 areas, right? Like one, just like I talked about the interview, putting myself to where I can see it, everybody, you need to position yourself to where you can see the finish, for one. And then the second part is when you see somebody not finishing, you don't wait for everybody to get through the drill and then up down. You do it right then and there. It has to be immediate feedback. So those are my 2 points on the finish. Position yourself to where you can see it and make sure that it is immediate reinforcement when you see them not finishing. I would rather us get, you want to get through this speed ladder drill, 5 reps. I would rather get 3 reps and the kid got held accountable. Get
Yeah.
all 5 did.
And most coaches stand at the beginning of the speed ladder drill and they say, ready, go. Most coaches think they're responsible for getting kids to start the drill. Guys, Lord, in heaven, everybody's going to finish. Until then, you better make them.
Yep.
I get fired up about that, Justin. I love it. I love that you can't win, right? I think PJ, this is another PJ Fleck, but he's like +2. Like you got to finish +2 yards past the line. All right. So what else? Finish and what else?
The other one was kids in the building and coaches are in the coach's office. That's a huge one. And I think that was my last point. It was a good segue into the PJ Fleck because PJ Fleck would never know all this about his kids if he was in the office while his kids were in the field house. He's found ways to have these interactions and talk to people so that he can talk to them on a personal level. So if our kids are in the field house, it's a great opportunity for us to be having dialogue with them. That's what I expect out of them.
So how are you going to learn your kids at a personal level, what's going to be your tactic to be more than surface level with these players?
Now that I'm in 4A, I know that's not the smallest level, but it's the smallest level I've ever been in, right? So I feel like there's not many kids. So my plan is to come up with a player questionnaire, and I'm going to find a time to interview each one of the players.
Yeah.
By the end of the month, I want every kid to be able to say that they've had a one-on-one conversation with the head coach.
Oh, so good, Justin. I mean, you got to do it, fellas. Like you have to. You don't have to do a home visit, but they got to. Hey, by the way, did you give the coaches a inventory sheet where they can meet with you one on
I
one?
did, and they're going to turn it into me next week, and we're going to have those one-on-one conversations too.
Tell them about the inventory sheet.
What other sports are you coaching? What are you teaching? If you're a head coach of a program, what was your record last year? What are your goals? I'm trying to remember what else was
Yeah.
on.
Well, do you like huddle or do you
What are your
no.
strengths? I think is how it was
Yeah.
worded on there. How can I help you? Is
Love
one of
it.
them too. Like,
Anybody got a question for Justin? Justin, your roadmap. What are you going to do next week?
Coach, eventually, me and Coach Davis, over the weekend, we've already started it, but we're going to get it done for the whole week. We're planning a week's worth of workouts. But I promise you, we're not getting to it until we do the 4-minute warm up. I want the kids to feel like they earned it. I'm excited for the moment that we do it and I show them the stopwatch and it's under 4. They're going to go crazy. That moment right there is going to drive us to start that off season. And I promise you, that first workout is going to be high energy, and there's going to be some weight being thrown around. There's going to be a lot of positive stuff because they're going to be so uplifted from finishing that warm up, and it's going to be a very rewarding feeling.
How long did it take you guys at Mesquite when y'all first showed up for them to finish the 4-minute warm up?
It was about 2.5 weeks.
That's awesome. So, does that stress you? What are you going to do if it takes a week and a half? Are you going to ask them to come in and lift weights after school?
Yes, I'm going to put the pressure on them to either come before school or after school to get a lift in. We're going to have them sign in, and we're going to post all this. Like, it's public information of who showed up to workouts and who did it.
Okay.
Right now, they're going to show up because I have them where they're trying to impress me.
But after a week and a half or so, that's going to fade.
Yeah. Once we start getting into workout.
Yeah. And I want to stress this for everyone. If you're a young coach and you want to be a head coach, here's the hardest thing about being a head coach. After a week and a half, some of his best players are going to start missing the voluntary weight workouts. Guaranteed. Justin's going to have to deal with it. If you don't want to deal with it, please don't become a head coach. You're not going to succeed. What are you going to do, Justin, to deal with it?
It's not what I'm going to do, it's what I'm not going to do, right? So there's going to be incentives for showing up to these things. And that's where we talk about a meritocracy, earning everything. So the worst player on our roster is going to have the same opportunity to earn these incentives as the best player does. And it's going to have nothing to do with skill. It's just going to have to do with whether you showed up or not.
So you're going to celebrate. What you celebrate, you cultivate. Yeah. So it's going to be more reward. I'm going to celebrate the guys who come. If a starter doesn't come, are you going to punish him?
I'm not going to punish him right now. We're going to celebrate the ones that are. And what's going to start happening is he's going to start feeling a little salty. Like, man, why? I'm the one scoring all the touchdowns. Why is he not giving me props? And it's going to come with some closed door conversations that we'll get on a one-on-one level.
Yeah, honestly, let's just talk about, you probably really can't punish them legally.
Right.
But we know there's pressure and things like that. Justin, this has been incredible. I texted your dad a while ago and I said, are y'all not just so proud of Justin? You just have a great presence. You're going to crush this, man. Just so y'all know, I talked to Justin a lot and I tried to help you get the Poteet job. We talked about interviewing and all this stuff. And you not getting the Poteet job and learning the 4-minute warm up at Mesquite, how big is that for you in your next 30 years?
I'll never not do it. And I think it's so important for everyone. Like your whole journey, you ought to be paying attention to what you like and what you don't like at every stop you're at, because you got an opportunity when it's your time to sit in the chair to make your own gumbo, and you can put the best things of every. Like right now, I feel like I'm the best of every one of my head coaches, and that's a good feeling.
I always call Justin like I'm his school dad and he's my coach son, and I am beaming with pride and I can't wait to see how this works out. I want to interview you again in a few weeks. I think this should be something we just track this, and I think our listeners will want to know, because next week, do you assume you're going to do 4-minute all week?
I think we'll have a chance at it towards the end of the week.
Like
I think
we need to do another podcast in a couple of weeks to find out how long it took you guys and what you're doing.
I can tell you now, Monday's going to be terrible because we're going to forget half of it.
Yeah.
Wednesday will have a chance. Thursday will have a chance.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, man, I'm honored, Justin. I'm gonna need a exporter t-shirt whenever you come up to the clinic, and I will wear it with pride, buddy.
Got it.
I'm gonna figure out a way to come to a game, I guarantee you. Thanks, man. Thanks for doing this. Thanks for everybody that jumped on live, and this will be recording where you can listen to it again. Justin, great job, man, and proud of you. Sounds like you crushed your first week.
Thanks, Coach.
See you, everybody.